Hello everyone, today's review is going to be on my first Jurassic World Epic Evolution figure, specifically the Strike Attack Kaprosuchus. The Epic Evolution line have just started being released. The Strike Attacks are available on Amazon and Big Bad Toy Store, the Electronic Allosaurus is up for pre-order on Walmart's website, and the Danger Packs have started showing up on eBay, which suggests that some stores may have them. The Kaprosuchus is a neat addition and a species that I knew Mattel was going to make at some point. Fortunately, it's not the only crocodyliform we're getting for this line. We also have the Kaprosuchus, which I'm really excited for. So let's take a quick look at the packaging as always. You can see that Mattel is continuing the theme of putting their animals in different biomes, and the biome that this Kaprosuchus belongs to is a river one. And looking on the left, you got the Jurassic World title, the name of the figure, and the T-Rex skeleton symbol. I believe that this is the first packaging that does not have any character or dinosaur. Usually you would see like Owen or Rexy, but nope, it's just the skeleton and the title. And on the background, beautiful mountain and a river right there. On the side, Jurassic World logo once again, and on the back, a render of the figure and how to activate its action feature, instructions on how to add it to your Jurassic World Facts app game, and the other Strike Attack figures for Wave 1. So you've got the Velociraptor that belongs in the Savannah biome, and I'm definitely not getting that one. It's just a repackage of that lazy Legacy Collection figure. Then you've got two Gigantosaurus in the Mountain biome, and Guaibasaurus in the Jungle biome. So let's waste no time and see what this Kaprosuchus has to offer. Here's the Kaprosuchus out of the box, and I have to say, it's a good figure. It looks like your typical depiction of this animal with those long legs and huge canines. Though I do have a few problems with it, and I'll get to them later in the review. Let's do some measurements now. So from head to tail, this crocodile is about 7¼ inches long. As for a height, it's about a little under 2½ inches tall at its hips. So Kaprosuchus in real life was estimated to be around 3 meters in length, so with those measurements, this toy would be in the 1/16 scale range, so it's very close to fitting perfectly in that 1/18 scale. Starting off with the head sculpt, it looks fairly good. You can see some sculpted detailing on the top, and on the bottom as well. I really like those smaller sculpted scales. And it has those signature canines that Kaprosuchus is known for, but these are some huge canines. Kaprosuchus had big canines, but they definitely weren't this big. But this is just Mattel being Mattel, and they always like to get creative with their prehistoric animals, so it's no surprise that they would exaggerate Kaprosuchus' signature features. And opening up the jaw, it's just mainly smooth on the inside. Don't expect high levels of detailing like a PNSO or Rebor figure. But the strange thing is that the bottom jaw has no teeth aside from the canines and the smaller teeth on the front of the bottom jaw. I wish they could have added some smaller teeth, at least one right here and right here, like what they did on the upper jaw. And going down, there really isn't a whole lot of detailing here. It's mainly just soft. The underbelly barely has some scales. Yeah, I have to say this detailing is a step down from the Strike Attack Prehistoric. And the armor plating is barely visible as well. They're way more visible on the tail. Now this armor plating doesn't really look like the armor you would see on your typical crocodilian. They look more like the armor you would see on outdated depictions of theropods. Let me show you an example. So here's the Invicta Megalosaurus. Of course, very outdated with the kangaroo posture. And you can see the armor plating. Yeah, these two have very similar looking armor. But the detailing on the legs do look quite good. You can see that the scales are a lot more visible on both the legs and the arms, as well as the musculature. And of course, there's these cool looking spikes coming out from the bottom. And there's forelimbs on the front and forelimbs on the back. So yeah, the detailing could have been a lot better with this toy. The main issue I have with this figure are the body proportions. Of course, the one you can notice immediately is the short tail. This is so it could fit in the box, but I wish that Mattel could have made the tail curl slightly upwards or downwards to make it longer, because this short tail looks absolutely ridiculous. And the torso does look quite thin as well, especially compared to its muscular limbs and huge head. And about Kaprosuchus' legs, This animal is commonly depicted with long legs despite only being known from a single skull. Well, that's because Kaprosuchus was thought to have been a primarily terrestrial animal due to many features of the skulls showing terrestrial adaptations. But based on a study of its close relative Mahajungasuchus, Kaprosuchus was likely a semi-aquatic animal, so these long legs may not be correct at all. The toy sports 5 points of articulation, the tail can move 360, both of the legs can move, and both of the arms. Now you're wondering why the arms are clicking into place. Well, that's because they're connected to an action feature where you would push the figure down and the jaws will open. It's quite similar to the Dominion Roar Strikers where you would push them down and they will activate their electronic gimmick. This works quite well, though it's not as smooth as the Prehistoric. And since these arms are connected to the gimmick, I do not suggest rotating them too much. Moving on to the coloration, the top consists of a gray that starts from the head all the way down to the tail. On the bottom jaw and the front half of the torso, there's a sandy color, and on the front arms and the underbelly, there seems to be a grayish blue. This color scheme is fitting for its given river environment, but they could have continued like the blue underbelly as well as the tan patterning down the figure. But of course, this is just Mattel being lazy with the paint apps as usual. Starting off with our comparisons, here are the other Kaprosuchus figures, the ones from Safari Ltd, Schleich, and Papo. The Papo Kaprosuchus, in my opinion, is the best figure of this animal. The Schleich one is also great. I think it's a very underrated figure. The Safari one is good too, but it has the most inaccurate skull. It's not really flat, but more deep and bulbous. Going back to the Mattel one, you can definitely see how exaggerated the canines are compared to these other Kaprosuchuses. Here are the other Mattel Jurassic World crocodyliforms, the Dacosaurus and the Sarcosuchus. Out of these three, I have to say that the Kaprosuchus is the weakest one. I really do not like those body proportions, especially like the short tail. I know that the Dacosaurus has some pretty funky proportions too, but there's something about it that I really like, maybe because the torso is actually beefy unlike the Kaprosuchus. This is one of my favorite Dino Trackers figures. And why not, let's bring in the Prehistoric and the Postosuchus. These types of reptiles are related to crocodyliforms, so we've got a nice variety of Pseudosuchians here. Of course, we're getting two more Pseudosuchians soon, which is the Paposaurus and the Griposuchus. Next, we have all of the other Mattel non-dinosaur animals, like the Archosaurs, Synapsids, and Therapsids. So we've got Shringosaurus, Nodhosaurus, Tanystropheus, Adaphosaurus, Dimetrodon, Scutosaurus, and Lystrosaurus. Lastly, for Mattel non-dinosaurs, here is the pterosaur Ornithocheirus and the marine reptile Elasmosaurus. Let's do a couple of Hammond collection figures, starting off with Dr. Ray Arnold. Here is the Pachycephalosaurus, the Ceratosaurus, and in my opinion, currently the best Hammond collection dinosaur, the Irritator, though the Carnotaurus could take its spot. Here's a few more crocodyliform models, the Pianosaudacosaurus, the Safari Ltd Plesiosuchus, and the absolutely beautiful Rebor Sarcosuchus and Dinosuchus. Of course, here's the Kaprosuchus next to the Collectaxiphacinus and the Collectaminixiphacinus. Well, there you have it everyone. That was my review on the Mattel Jurassic World Epic Evolution Strike Attack Kaprosuchus. Overall, it's an okay figure, definitely not their most impressive though. Like I've already said, the body proportions are the worst part for me. I can get past the long legs, but the torso could have been bigger and the tail could have been longer. The detailing is also very smooth compared to some of the other $10 figures. So, what's my final rating going to be? I'm just going to say a 6 out of 10. It's not terrible, but not great either. If you want one for yourself, you can get it off of Amazon or Big Bad Toy Store. I'll leave a link down below in the description. Amazon is where I bought mine. So if you guys enjoyed this review, leave a comment down below, like and subscribe. It really supports my channel. And I will see you all in the next video.